Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Serious Sellers Podcast by Helium 10. I'm your host, Bradley Sutton, and this is the show that is our monthly Ask Me Anything, where we do a training on a certain topic, and then we open it up to all the members out there to go ahead and ask whatever questions you have about Helium 10 or Amazon that we can help you with. And today we're going to be talking about split testing images, both on Amazon, off Amazon. And we're going to do some live examples of this. And we're going to talk about why this is important and how it can help you. I think it's one of the most slept on things that a lot of Amazon sellers aren't doing. And then we're going to be able to open it up to a lot of questions out there. So let me know where you guys are watching from. Those of you on the call right now, and let me give some shout outs here. All right, let's see. We got California in the house. We got Bill from Florida. How's it going? We got Jasmine. Excellent. Paula from LA. Welcome, welcome. Awesome, awesome. All right, we're going to get started in here. Let some more people come into the room. All right, excellent. Excellent. Okay, we got more people. Lady says no longer in Hawaii. Yeah, I'm back home as of last night. All right, let's get started here. Now, let me just give some framework on why I think this is something that literally every Amazon private label seller should be doing. Um, when we create a new listing, right? We have in our own mind what might convert the best as far as images, as far as titles, things like this. And it's based on, hopefully some solid research. Maybe we've checked out the competition, maybe we know this certain niche, right? But the problem is sometimes we might be a little bit biased, or we might kind of like overvalue our own knowledge of a certain niche. And when we do that, we could be leaving money on the table. Let's just do some calculations, guys. Let's just say that you want a certain click-through rate from the search results. Let's just talk about main image, right? Now, let's just say that your conversion rate, once people actually get to your page, is 10%. Let's just say it's 10%. All right. 10% of the people who click on your product, they're going to convert. Now, if your click-through rate is also, let's just say 10%, right? That means that on a certain keyword page, or just overall, let's just talk about it overall. Let's just say, you're getting like 1,000 impressions, right? 1,000 people see your product. And if you have a 10% click-through rate on it, I'm not just talking about PPC, just in general. I'm doing some general numbers here. That means 100 people click on your product if it's 10% your click-through rate. And then if your conversion rate is 10%, how many people buy your product? 10. All right, so 10 out of 1,000. So let's say your product is a coffin shelf that's $30. With these numbers, right? That means you're doing every day about $300 worth of orders. Okay, $300 worth of orders over the course of a year. That's about $100,000. So you got a six-figure product, $100,000. Now, let's just pretend that nothing else changes except your click-through rate. That means that the more the people see it in the search results, then the more they're going to click on it. What if we could bring your click-through rate from 10%, not even 5%. Let's bring it from 10 to 14. So that's a 4% increase. All right, 4% increase. So that means if instead of 100 people a day clicking on your product, how many is that going to be? So we take 100, or we take 1,000 and multiply that by 0.14. That means that 140 people are going to see your product. And if you still have the conversion rate of 10%, how many people are buying that per day? That's now 14 people who are buying that a day. So we take that 14 times it by what's the retail price? $30. That's $420 a day you are doing on your product. We times that by 365. Now you have gone from a product that does just over $100,000 a year, 109,000. Now you've got a product that is getting $153,000 per year. You just increased by over $40,000 and you did not even change your conversion rate. You only change the amount, your click-through rate, the amount of people who see your product in the search results and click through it, and not even by 5%, a 4% increase. Okay. Now that's what I'm talking about here. So this is why I think this is a very important topic. And I'm just only talking about one thing. What are the things that influence click-through rates? It could be your price point. It could be the way you have your title set up. It could be your main image, which is what I was talking about. So this is why it's so important to make sure that at the very least you start split testing different things of your listing. All right. Now Amazon has a live split tester, and we're going to talk about that first. How many people manage your experiments? Those of you who have brand registry. All right, let me show you how to do that. And then I'm going to talk about in what situations I use it, but then also the potential drawbacks of using this. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen and show you some recent ones I've done. Hold on here. Okay, so you guys should see my screen right about now. This is in Seller Central in the How Cool Is That Project X account. The part that you can do split testing for free if you have brand registry is called Manage Your Experiments. So you click on Brands, and then you click on Manage Experiments. And what this does is it allows you to do live split testing of new things. All right. So the kind of things that I can split test is my A+ content. I can do my bullet points, product images, product description, product title, A+ brand story, or I can multi attributes. All right. We're just going to keep it real simple. And mainly talk about main image, because in my opinion, that's one of the biggest kind of like things that could really make an impact on your either click-through rate or conversion rate. All right. So I did a few of these recently. All right. One of them is going right now. All right. So this is a product I had called a bath mat. All right. And I had two different main images I was split testing. Let me show you the actual content. One was an old, like computer generated image I had, and one was a newer one that AMZ One Step did. All right, so you can see very similar images. Those of you watching this on online, you can see it's very similar images, but just different angles. All right, and so it's like, hey, I wanted to split test this in the search results, and take a look at this. Is ongoing. This is literally going right now. That's why it hasn't gone through yet. And you can see that one of them I sold 24 units and the other one 18 units. All right. One of them 11 units sold from search, the other one 4 units from search. Okay. One of them has a 0.07 conversion rate. One of them has a 0.05. All right. So it looks like the version A, which is what I have, is going to win. Okay, so that's one that's literally going right now. Here's the other one we're going to be going over today is the coffin shelf. All right, so here is this one, and it completed. Okay, now look at this one here. This one actually I started around the same time, but look at this one. This one had a point one version had a 0.04 conversion rate and the other one had a 0.005 conversion rate. That option A sold 9 units over this very short period of time, and the other one only 1 unit. So this one already stopped because Amazon's like, "Oh my goodness, this is like night and day. This is going to be the good one compared to what I was showing." All right? So this one shows good information, but here's the thing. Let's just say that on this live split test that I was doing with Manage Your Experiments, this one it was almost like a 10x better, one image over the other. But how Amazon is doing this is it is showing this product um with the different images in search results, like half of the day showing one, like half of the day showing the other. So the problem with doing this live split test, if it's a brand new listing especially, is that by definition, sometimes half the time you are showing an unoptimized image. What if during this time I was showing just the good image? I would have maybe on in this situation almost doubled my sales, if not more, because I was wasting half of the day showing an image that was not well converting. Okay, now I do think that there's definitely a time and place to do manage your experiments, especially some of the nuances of like your bullet points and your A plus content and things like that, or on more mature listings. But when you are trying to rank or you've got a brand new product, you can understand maybe a little bit why it's probably not good to just go ahead and launch a product and then do a manage your experiments from the get go, because you don't want to be by definition screwing your listing 50% of the day, if that makes sense. All right. So let me show you what I think that everybody should be doing. And I've been doing this for years, is using a service called PickFu. And inside of Helium 10, it's called Helium 10 Audience. And before I even launch my listing, I am doing this research. All right. So let me just show you. I did the exact same test yesterday, and we're going to do a couple tests together. Let me show you what I did yesterday or last night in Helium 10 Audience. I set up a poll and I told the customers, hey, you are searching for a coffin shelf. This coffin shelf includes a gift box, some spooky accessories. If you saw the following 3 images in the search results for a product, which would make you want to click it the most? And do you see the one that won by an overwhelming amount? 56, a score of 56 to 22 to 22. This one that won in the Manage Your Experiments. Now, let's just pretend that this was a brand new product release. I mean, this is not a brand new product release. This is the Helium 10 coffin shelf that's been out there. But I came to the exact same conclusion using my test audience. And so I could have started from day one with the right image without having to have 50% of the time a bad image showing up because it's a live listing. So this is the beauty about using Helium 10 Audience that I think everybody, like literally every single product launch, you should be running this. Now, granted, some of you may have, be launching like, 20 products at a time. I was just talking to my friend, Helium 10 Elite member, Yizak, and he was launching some leggings. And, when he launches leggings, he's got like 3 different kinds of variations. So every single group has, like 100 variations because it's 3 different kinds. He's got size and inseam and color. And then each of those has like 8 combinations, right? So I'm not saying, oh yeah, Yizak should have done 100 PickFu or Helium 10 Audience tests. That's not very economical or feasible. But at least you want to check it once for the main, image results, right? So the beauty about this is it's not just, oh, random people are voting on what image they think is the best. To be able to get money, the people who are doing the Helium 10 Audience, they actually get paid. That's why each time we do this, it costs money between like, $50 and $60 or so, is because each of the people who are responding are getting paid to give their responses. And to give their response, they have to give you information. And you don't have that in the Manage Your Experiments. in Amazon. So, for example, some of the people who picked option A, which is the one that won, you can read here what they're saying. This one person says, "Hey, this image shows me all of the accessories and multiple angles of the box." Um, Another person says, "Option A shows the coffin both open and closed, as well as clearly showing what the accessories look like." Now, this is important. This is important. I never would have thought about this. Did you guys catch this? They think that this tells me something right here. The fact that two people said multiple um angles of the coffin. Let's go back to the image. This is not multiple angles of the coffin. All right? These are two products that are included in the product. One is a coffin shelf and one is a coffin shaped box. So, right away, this is not something that I'm just going to go and say, "Oh, this image won," right? Because now all of a sudden my thought process has changed. I thought that this image is going to clearly show that a gift box is included and it's two separate products. But no, here are two people who just said that they think it's the same product, but just showing open and close in different angles. So now I know I might need to go back and figure out something to make it more obvious that no, you're getting two products for the price of one. This coffin box is a gift box that's separate from the regular coffin. Let's keep reading. I literally haven't looked at these until this second. All right, let's see what other people say. I mean, one person here says item A shows the most items to put on the shelf. Okay. Here is another person. I find A more appropriate. It has an all-around preview of the product. Okay. Another person says, "I like to see the two trinkets at the bottom right of the image." That was important to me because I wanted to make it clear that people who order our coffin shelf, they get like this LED candle plus something else. So I'm going to keep reading this and see how many people are saying that they think that this is just showing the different angle. So you see how it's different levels. All right. It's not just a matter of, oh, which image is best. But now I might have to go back to the drawing board and say, how do I make sure that people understand that they actually get two products in one? And then I would go ahead and try to make a new image and then run it again versus this one versus the other images. So sometimes I run Helium 10 audience maybe 3 times on a certain product. Okay? Any questions so far? I hope you guys understand the value of this. Number one, the first value is before I even launch a product, I can make sure that from day one, I am launching with the most optimized um, image. The other option I could have done is even taking it a step further is Photoshop this into like Amazon search results and actually show the title and maybe show a couple of competitors. This is why I run Helium 10 audience sometimes 2, 3 times. Yeah, it cost me like $200 to do it. Um, I mean, I was using this since it was PickFu, since it wasn't in Helium 10, but it was worth it to me, the kind of insight I get. So number one is, hey, am I running the most optimized uh, search result image or experience, I guess, if you can consider the title also in the price. And then secondly, am I completely overlooking something like I just did here, where I thought it was very clear that people are getting two different products here in the same package, but some people thought it was just a different angle of one product. All right. Any questions so far? Okay. We're going to run this live, a brand new one, and it just has two options, and it's a brand new product launch that I'm doing. So let's go ahead and run this live together. Let me pull it up here just a moment. I'm going to go to Helium 10 audience, and I have two images that are very, very similar. Okay, very, very similar. And it's a product I'm going to launch today or tomorrow on Amazon. So here's what we do. We go to tools in Helium 10. Under listing optimization, we hit audience, and then I'm going to hit create new poll. All right. And I could do use poll builder or build from scratch. I'm going to go ahead and use the poll builder. And we are going to do, you can see all the different things that we can test here. A+ content, a general idea, logo, infographics or secondary image, product listing, product title, a video, a voiceover even, something about a website. All of these things we can do. I'm going to do product images. Which is main image right here. Okay. Now I'm going to write my question. So let's go ahead and write a question is you are searching on Amazon for a stackable egg rack. Which of these main image options would make you want to click on the product more? I could probably have made this better, but we're going to do this live. All right, let's go to the next step. All right, what are my two options? Let's go ahead and add these. Egg tray. So here is one egg tray image. And let's go hit another egg tray image right here. See, very, very similar. But again, I want every little bit counts. Remember, I just showed you guys that having a difference of even just 4% for my click-through rate could mean $50,000 a year almost. All right. So you can see there's two different images here. One has a full rack of eggs and one only has half of them, and it's a slightly different angle. Let's go ahead and see the next step. I can pick the audience. All right. So I could just go general audience, first available respondents. I might just go ahead and do that now. Or I can choose a custom audience where I'm like, hey, I want men, I want women, I want dog owners, I want people who exercise 4 times a week. There's a billion different options here. The one that I usually pick is Amazon Prime subscribers. All right. That's what I'm looking for. I could pick an age range, right? In this case, I want this to run super fast because the more I segment it like this, it takes longer. I'm just going to hit general audience because this product is general, you know, like men like it, women like it, all ages. But like if I was doing a pet grooming product and it's specifically for dogs, you better believe I'm going in there and I am going in and choosing, you know, like dog owners or something like that. Or if I have a product that's specifically for men or for women of a certain age group, I'm going to go in there and make sure that the people who are going to vote on this are exactly my target market. I'm only going to choose 50 people for the audience. But first, before I go in there, right now in the chat, which option do you guys think people are going to choose? We're live right now. You know, if you're watching this on the replay, you know, it's going to be too late. Option A or option B? Everybody let me know. Option A or option B, which one do you think people are going to choose? Bill says the A. Alex says A. Paula says B. Okay, see, we're getting mixed results here. Mr. Techi says B. Wow, it's split almost 50-50 right now. Literally 50-50 here. A few more votes for B right now. B is coming on strong. Can says A. Carla says B. Okay, Gabriella says A. All right, so we're almost at 50-50 here with a slight edge to B here in our group. So let's see what people say, all right? Let me I did the audience targeting. I'm only going to do 50. I can find out, you know, behavioral habits or personal traits of the people who are responding here if I wanted. I'm just using the free option here. Next step, 50. Let's just go with this. All right. Now, again, is this the best way to do it? No. The best way is probably to also show my competitors, you know, image. Okay. And maybe even show it in the search results. But I'm just doing something super simple just so you can see how this works. All right. Let's go ahead and proceed to checkout. It's going to cost me $50 only to do this, and I actually have to pay it. I hope Helium 10 will reimburse me later. Hopefully my credit card doesn't get denied here. Let's see what's going on. Boom. Okay, it is working now. All right, so this one is going to be in progress. We're going to pull it up right here, and we're going to keep going back to this. This is live. It's literally going out to a whole bunch of people right now. We're going to go back and check that. So this, what situations would you want to use this compared to when you would want to use the Amazon manage your experiments? Well, if I haven't launched my product, 10 out of 10, I am doing this. I mean, literally 100% of the time that I launch a product, I am running a Helium 10 audience on some of my main aspects, right? Because remember, I don't want to start off with potentially an unoptimized or not the best option for my image or title, right? From day one, especially during the honeymoon period. I'm trying to get the best click-through rate possible and the best conversion rate. Now, sometimes if I'm just testing something else and I think I'm doing pretty well and there's nothing I'm going to do that's going to be a big change, well, yeah, I'll go ahead and run manage your experiments because it's free, right? On an exact listing. And actually, when you run manage your experiments, you can get additional details on what's going on, as you saw from what Amazon was showing, right? Let me just show you again what are the kind of things that you can see. You can see what your conversion rate is. You can see how many units are sold from search, how many sales from search. You can see the exact sample size, et cetera, et cetera. So in that situation, if I'm like, hey, I've got a pretty optimized listing, I've already run my Helium 10 audience before, and I just want to tweak something that I don't think is going to make a big difference. Well, yeah, I'll go ahead and use the manager experiments. But if you have not tested your main image on a brand new listing, you haven't launched yet, 100%, guys, I do not launch any product without having run this. And so if you are out there and you're launching products and you are not split testing your image first, or split testing perhaps your price point or how the product might show up in the search results, I strongly believe you could be leaving money on the table. I mean, some people can change their click-through rate by up to 10%. Even if you change it 1%, 1%, guys, on that one that I was showing you that would sell, what did I say, like 10 units a day only? If selling 10 coffin shelves a day, and if I just change my click-through rate by 1%, we're still talking thousands of dollars difference per year I'm getting by increasing my click-through rate just 1%. So is that worth a $50 Helium 10 audience? Right? You better believe that's why I do it for every single one of my listings. Any questions so far with this concept of like split testing your images before you launch? Let's see. Can says, can you show me please how to navigate to the experiment page in Helium 10? Yeah, absolutely. Let me show you really quick. So where this is you click your main menu in Helium 10 at the top left where it says tools, and under listing optimization. And by the way, everybody has this option. This is not something that's only Diamond because it's a pay per use. So everybody has access to it. You click under listing optimization, it's audience. It's a tool called audience. Hope you can see that, Can. All right, oh my goodness. Look at this, guys. I just started this like what, 5 minutes ago? Not even 5 minutes ago. What am I saying? Like 3 minutes ago. And I've already got 18 results. And do you remember I said you guys were kind of split down the middle between option A and option B? Well, take a look here. We've got now 10-9. So it's very similar with what you guys had thought, except it's slight chance to option A. All right. So what are some of the things that people are saying? All right. One person here says, I'm more likely to click on A, the left one, because this is full of eggs, which makes me think that'll hold a lot more. Even though I know they hold the same amount, it feels like it can store and organize more. It's also more visually appealing to see the eggs neat and orderly like this instead of the other image. So it makes me, you see, like that's something I didn't even think about. All right. You see this other one where it's like, somebody with like ADD or something like might be looking at this and like, hey, why do people just have random holes in this egg rack used and it's not all full? It's just a psychological thing. All right. So I see always when I run this, guys, uh I always have new things that I didn't think about. Look at this. In the last 1 minute that I was talking, 7 more people already responded. Let's go ahead and load those 7. We are still at almost half each here. Wow, that's crazy. Right on the line of what people want more. I could see, hey, what's the age range of the people who are responding right now? It looks like 58% of younger people are choosing B, but but of the older age range, 45 and up, 66% want option A. So there's something right there. All of a sudden I have some insight. Well, if my target market is older people, I might go ahead and favor option A regardless of the score here because that's who likes my product more. See, that's the kind of level that you can go in. All right, any more questions on this before we open it up to other questions? And it's going to we're probably going to get the full answer real soon here. All right. So your takeaway, guys, is if you're in the midst of launching a product, don't ever launch a product without running Helium 10 audience. Okay. This is how important I think it is. You might think you have the best main image or the best title, but really make sure you have some solid proof before doing it. Now, if you already have a listing active, you still, if you never split test anything and it's something big like the main image, it might be still better to run Helium 10 audience just so that you can get instant results within like a day of which one might be better and then immediately change it if you need to. Because remember, if you run manage your experiments in Amazon, it might take 30 days to get enough results. And in those 30 days, 15 of the days, half of the day, half of the month, you are running an image or a title or whatever that is not exactly that is not optimized. And so, you can just kind of understand that you might be leaving hundreds of dollars on the table half the month if you're running something, a live split test like that. So that's why I always like running my split test immediately in one day and offline. All right. Let's go ahead and open it up. Oh, it's probably going to take only another like less than 5 minutes here for us to see the final results of this. And by the way, this is a Project X product, this 18 egg rack I've never launched before, literally launching this weekend or early next week on Amazon. I'm going to send it to Amazon, the inventory today. And these images, I didn't use AMZ One Step. I actually just had my kids do a photo shoot here and we photoshopped it. And I'm going to show you another one where I use AMZ One Step and got much better images, but that'll be in a episode coming up in a couple weeks where I'm going to show you how I kind of like walk through this, and it's going to be in Freedom Ticket as well. Let's see here. Pez says, will there be a replay of this as I missed some minutes early already? Yes. Wherever you're watching this on, you're going to be able to watch this on the replay as well. Kim says, did you say that when you do an A/B test on Amazon, they automatically convert the listing to use the best image they tested? If you choose that, that is an option on Amazon where you can say it's called automatically publish the winning result or something like that. It's called, and you just check that if you wanted to automatically do it, or you just say you uncheck that and then you just look at the results and then you decide which one you want to go with. You have both of those options on Amazon. All right, the questions are open up to anything. Guys, let me know anything that you guys want to ask about Helium 10 or something else. In the meantime, let me just show you some bling I got from the $1 Billion Seller Summit. This is where this shirt comes from. I was in $1 Billion Seller Summit in Hawaii this weekend, and I got this humongous thing from Kevin King because I'm a member of the Dream 100. It's got my name on it. This thing weighs like 20 pounds right here on my neck. But this was something from the $1 billion seller summit. So shout out to Kevin King for hooking me up as being part of the Dream 100. All right. If you guys haven't been to the $1 billion seller summit, the next one will be next year in Iceland, and for sure I'll be there as well. And this shirt was a Hawaiian Helium 10 shirt that was made up for. We did like an amazing race kind of thing where 28 teams were racing all around the island on this like scavenger hunt. And so this was our team's Hawaiian Helium 10 shirt right here. All right, here we go. Petya. Petya says, how long can we leave tests on Helium 10 audience to run? Is there a specific time limit, or will a test run for as long as we leave it? It'll run until it gets to the number of responses that you requested. You guys remember how many I put? I put 50. And this is going to run in 10 minutes because I had 0 filtering. I suggest doing filtering. Usually you can, even if you filter a lot, you should be able to get the results in less than a day. All right, because they've got tens of thousands of people that potentially could be replying on these things. And so even if you filter it down, again, my suggestion is always do Amazon Prime members. I mean, if your product is geared towards Amazon Prime, and then go into, age and gender and things like that, if you have a target market. And then, but just know that the more filters you put, the more filters you put, the longer it's going to take. Like I said, this one's going to take a total of 10 minutes because I had no filters on there. But it'll keep running until it hits the amount of responses that you requested. In this case, I requested only 50. All right. Any other questions, guys? Keep the questions coming in. Could be about anything Helium 10 related, or maybe just Amazon related. Remember, this is something that we do every single week in our Serious Sellers Club and Helium 10 Elite group, where they can come in and ask me questions about anything they want. And just once a month, we open it up to the whole audience, like we're doing right here. Kim says, is there a best place to view most of the Atomic Serious Sellers podcast? I want to use it more often, but don't have a thorough understanding of all of the features. All right, so we talk a lot about Atomic. We do a lot of trainings. There's some recordings in app that people have, the different members have done, but we also have Tacos Tuesday with Destiny every other month, where we kind of focus on Atomic. So if the best place to go is just our YouTube channel, Kim. Go to the Helium 10 YouTube channel and type in Tacos Tuesday in the search, and those are all of our PPC seminars that we have. All right, so you can definitely get a lot of good information there. And I might try and do some more tutorials on Atomic. We just did a tutorial on it with Destiny. What is it? Last week or the week before? That's actually going into Freedom Ticket. So the replay is going into Freedom Ticket. I'm not sure if that's going into the podcast as well, but you might, at least it's going to go into Freedom Ticket. Paula says, I'm close to running out of stock and the shipment is delayed for a few weeks. What's the best way to handle the Amazon listing? Close it? Yeah, so go ahead and run out of stock. Like, I don't suggest trying to slow down your sales or anything, because you don't want your keyword rank to start dropping because you don't have a good click-through rate or conversion rate anymore. A lot of times, you can you're going to be able to start off right off the bat towards the top of page 1. All right, as long as you haven't been out of stock for like 8 months or something like that. Let me see a sample here. Here's a perfect example. Take a look at this. Let me show you my screen here. I was out of stock for 2 months of our large coffin shelf already, and I still don't have it in FBA. I only turned on my fulfilled by merchant listing. All right. Last night, less than 8 hours ago, I turned on the FBM listing. It's already showing up right here in my sponsored ads, or my sponsored brand ad. And then take a look at the main keyword, which is large coffin shelf. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. These right here are sponsored ads. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Look at this. I'm already on the second line of organic results, even though, look at my BSR is like 1 million because it's been out of stock for like 3 months. And this is not even an FBA listing, and I already regained my rank on this particular keyword. right here. All right. So if it was a very competitive one, yeah, I usually maybe sometimes try and suppress the listing and by taking away the image. This one I closed the listing because I didn't want like a whole bunch of days of zero sales to kind of accumulate. And so you can close or suppress your listing. But these days, compared to maybe 4 or 5 years ago, Amazon is really kind of like remembering your organic rank, especially non-competitive ranks, and you can get it right back pretty fast. Now, do I want to be at position 9? But no, I want to get it back to 1 or 2, and I'm sure once I get my FBA listing back up and running and I start getting some conversions, I'm gonna have no problem with that. But you can just see here, I literally launched this back after 3 months, and I'm already on the top of page 1 for this one of my main keywords. All right, we already have the vote is finished for the egg rack pictures, and the one with all of the egg racks won with a score of 52 to 48. So this is not like a very clear-cut winner here. Excuse me. This is not a very clear-cut winner here, but like the other one, the coffin shelf one, which had a score of like 50 to 20 to 20. But now, at least I have a little bit more confidence to go with this image that has all of them. And then I'm going to start reading these comments here to see if I get more information. Look, it's 50 people responded in like what, 10-15 minutes here. And now I have all this data to go through to really make my decision when I launch this later today. Matter of fact, as soon as I get off this call, I'm probably going to do it. Which image am I going to use? And is there something I didn't consider? Like, remember what happened on the coffin shelf? I realized that people think that it's the same image, just a different angle. So I'm gonna definitely read this once I'm done with the call. All right, let's see some other questions here. Ollie says, using launch strategies like the Maldives honeymoon, when do you really start focusing on actual profit and long-term viability of the product? What's the perfect balance? So all I think about during the launch strategy is getting to page 1 organically. I'm not concerned about profit. Now, I usually can, if I'm not launching a super competitive niche, I can usually get to page 1 within a week. And then at that point, I start maybe if I start getting my Vine reviews or other reviews, I might start raising the price up and take my foot off the gas. But I'm usually going really hard and heavy, even if I get to the top of page 1 for 10 full days, even if I got to the top of page 1 after only 2 or 3 days, which happens sometimes in my launches. All right. So I try to go really hard and heavy at least 10 days to help me stick my landing more. And then at that point, it's a matter of, all right, now do I start to try and rank organically for my secondary set of keywords? And then I just do it all over again. I still go really hard and heavy and losing money. Now, if after 30 days of launch and losing money and putting a lot of money in PPC, I'm not getting the conversions I need organically, or maybe I'm getting bad reviews, I have to like kind of like take a step back and look at, what am I really doing, right? What am I doing wrong? Why am I not sticking my landing? Why are people not converting? Or why is my listing not converting even though I'm at page 1? All right. So these are things that you have to start considering, after 30 days or more of your launch. All right, let's keep those questions coming in. Great question by Alex. Says, how would you do your A/B test for your image against competitor images on Amazon search result pages? All right, so what I would do, let me just show you guys here. Let's just say I was doing this large coffin shelf. Well, I'm not going to take a picture of the Helium 10 widget up here, right? I might take a screenshot. I would have to take away this previously viewed of this whole image right here, from the top of the image all the way down to the price, potentially, right? And then I would make that actual image, right? And then I would go ahead and choose a couple of the main competitors and take that same spot. And then you say, hey, you searched for large coffin shelf, and these were the 4 main search results you saw at the top of the page. Which one would you select and why? And always I'm going to get comments on not just the image. Sure, I'll get comments on the image, but then some people are going to comment on the price. Some people are going to comment on the reviews and the star rating. And then now you can understand how people kind of like navigate the search results a little bit more by using the Helium 10 audience there. Next question here. Mr. Techie says launching a product at a low price, and then when the sales velocity is substantially increased with organic ranking improvement, then we can increase the price of the product. Yes. So remember, the reason why I'm trying to do a low price upon launch is twofold. Number one is I might have 0 reviews or 5 reviews or 3 reviews, and people might not be motivated to click on my product nor buy it when, compared to other options out there if it's the same price and they have hundreds of reviews or thousands of reviews. All right. So I'm trying to convince people to go ahead and give my product a chance, even though it doesn't have the social proof. And then, yeah, it's going to increase my sales velocity in the beginning. But there's no one answer of when you go ahead and start to raise the price. For me, it's like when I feel that the product has legs on its own where I don't need to have that low price. So a lot of times it's, hey, I have such a unique value add that I think, hey, I'm already organically ranked. I'm going to convert even at a higher price. I'll go ahead and raise it up. Or maybe my Vine reviews start coming in. Now all of a sudden I've got 25-star reviews. Now my product is a lot more attractive, even though it only has 20 reviews compared to if it has 0 reviews. So I might go ahead and raise my price up there. It's you want to just keep the price at somewhere that's going to keep your conversion rate high and your velocity high until you have confidence that it can last on its own. Joan says, in Helium 10 audience, what do you test show if you have 6 variations? Well, you want to pick which one is the best selling, right? Because that's probably what's going to be in the search results. So, for example, for coffin shelves, I've got 3 variations, right? I've got a black one, I've got a purple one, and a pink one. I do not test the purple and pink ones. Why? I know even before day 1 of when I launched my coffin shelf, the black one is the one that sells the best for everybody else, and it's the one that shows up in the search results, right? Now, if I was doing some super, super niche tests where I was like, hey, I just want to test my pink coffin shelf versus other pink coffin shelves, sure, I could do it. But in this situation, I'm only going to test the black coffin shelf because I know that is the one that sells like 5-1 over the other ones. And that's the one that is the one that shows up in search results for everybody's listings. Can says, I sell FBA and FBM. Cool. Same as me. I'll be taking a vacation soon. Congrats. I like that. Will it be okay to turn on the vacation mode for my FBM, or should I find an alternative way to keep it open, or are there any other alternatives? Now, Ken, are you saying that for your ASINs, you have 2 SKUs for everyone, one FBA and one FBM? If so, your FBA should keep going, no problem. So what I would do is I would just either close all of your FBM listings or just put the inventory to 0 for all of them if you don't have people fulfilling for you. Now, if you have some products, like maybe you've got some oversized products and you only sell that FBM, well, if you close the listing or put 0, obviously your sales go to 0. Now, if you have to do that, you have to do that. But if you do have somebody who is, who can fulfill for you, then do that. As I just told you guys, I was in Hawaii the last week. I could not ship from my warehouse. I have a warehouse behind my house. I did not want to turn off my listings. So I had my cousin come and he fulfilled all my orders. And I didn't turn off my FBM listing. All right. But again, if you don't have that availability, like a family member who can ship for you, or you think they're going to screw it up or something, then yeah, you should probably turn it off. Kim says, would you also recommend doing A/B tests on infographic images, or is it more useful and important for the main image? All right. This is a great question. And then Kim says, essentially, have you found your conversion improved by testing infographics? Yes. Okay. So remember, I said I was only talking about one thing today, which is improving your click-through rate of the actual images. And remember, I said at the beginning, hey, we're going to assume that your conversion rate is going to stay the same. And I showed how much your sales could increase just by improving your click through rate from the search results. But you can take the opposite. Let's say you already have a fully optimized main image and price point and title, and your click through rate is not going to improve. Well, what's the other thing you can improve? You can improve your conversion rate. It's the same exact thing almost. I mean, not as much of a scale as the click through rate, but if you can improve your conversion rate by 3%, right? That means if you get 100 clicks a day, you get 3 more orders if you improve your conversion rate by 3. So it's the same thing. So maybe if you think the infographics can make a difference, if it's not optimized, absolutely that should be something that you can test. All right? I always want to start with the thing that moves the needle the most, and that's the click-through rate. Because remember, if I improve 3% click-through rate on 1,000 impressions, that's a big difference compared to changing the conversion rate by 3, right? On something that only gets 100. So you want to go ahead and split test your A plus content. Split test the things that are inside of your listing, your bullet points. Like I've done that before where I show screenshot of bullet points and then Photoshop in other bullet points and then see what people think. Absolutely. Paula says, "What is a good conversion rate?" It's basically what is your niche. Everything is different. I've been in niches where 10% is great. I've been in ones where 3% is great. With Amazon Search Query Performance, you can even look at your conversion rate at the keyword level. All right, so take a look at the conversion rate that your competitors are getting overall for a certain keyword, which means how many clicks they get compared to how many purchases they get, and then see what yours is to see if where your benchmark is. That's the beauty about Amazon data that it's giving. You never had that kind of visibility in the past. Casey says there's some disagreement in the forums on Amazon about whether main images can include lifestyle or use imagery, such as a dog toy listing with a dog in the main image. Has Amazon changed or relaxed their policy? Not necessarily, but Amazon allows you to use accessories in images if it doesn't confuse the buyer and makes them think that they're getting something that they're not. Like if I'm looking here, I know this person has had this listing for a while now. Amazon buyers don't think that they're getting this model in the image, so they've never been suspended, right? Here's a coffin. All the coffin shelves, as you guys can see, they show accessories inside. As long as it's not trying to make people think that they're getting something that they're not really going to, it's fine. Like here, if there's some stickers here in this coffin shelf, and there's like screws and a hanging kit. Now, this totally makes it look like this is what they're getting. So if this person was not giving these accessories, yes, this listing would probably get suspended, or at least the main image would, because they're misleading customers. So it's a fine line sometimes, and Amazon doesn't always police it, uniformly, because it's different people who might be policing it. But the rule of thumb is, have the white background, but if there is something that's needed to kind of like show the, help people understand the use of the product, there's nothing wrong with having accessories there. But Amazon has very specific rules, like you can't be putting text, on your main image, and you can't have it be distracting, either. Kim says along this lines, "Hey, I agree with the last question. Lifestyle sells, and Amazon, in my opinion, just doesn't get it. I sell items that go in vehicles. When I can't show them in the vehicle, they don't sell well." Yeah, so Amazon polices it differently, and also different categories too. I've seen some like vehicle products, like for example, I knew somebody who was selling a car bed, and in their main image, it showed it in a car. Most of the people in that niche, their main image was showing that, and Amazon allowed it. So it's kind of like hit or miss with what Amazon allows. But what you should always do, my suggestion, if you want to toe the line of what Amazon might be okay with, here's a suggestion. an important thing is make sure you have a real white background image in your 7 images. All right, so go ahead and maybe toe the line. Don't say that, Bradley said to do this, but the what Amazon will do is if they don't like your main image, they're going to look in your image stack if you have a fully compliant image, like a white background one, and then instead of suspending your listing or suppressing it, they'll just automatically switch it to that other one and then like send you a notice. So then that's one way to kind of protect yourself if you have a borderline gray area image, right? Make sure you have a good white background image that Amazon can switch to so that it doesn't like, sometimes Amazon said it might go in and just change your image to what it wants. And I'm like, well, what in the world is Amazon going to choose? Is it going to use like an AI generated image or something? Right? You might not want that. Or it might just suppress your listing until you change the image. But instead of that, make sure you have a fully compliant image also in your image stack, because that's the first thing that it looks at if they're trying to police your image. Oh, Kim says, hey, yeah, I've had Amazon do that to me in my sales plummet. Exactly. Which is why you don't want to just, allow them the option of overriding your images. Always have a good white background compliant image, even if you're doing one of those gray area images. All right, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We're going to go ahead and shut it down soon. We did a live test of Helium 10 Audience. I showed you how to use Manage Your Experiments in Amazon. I really hope I got through to you, because I'm looking at numbers of how many people use Helium 10 Audience or how many people are using PickFu, and it should be 100% private label sellers. Literally should be, but it's not anywhere close to that or what people are using. So if you don't have Helium 10, use PickFu. If you've got Helium 10, you've already got it right there in your Helium 10 audience tool. Make sure to do that. If you've never run it, go to your number one selling product and get some variations of the image, based on what else is selling, or compare your image to your competitors and get some insight, guys, into how your target audience is interacting with your images and price and title in the search results. And if you're launching a new product anytime soon, always have your graphic designer give you 3 or 4 options of main images and then split test that first before launching your product. So hope you guys found this beneficial. Thank you guys for joining, and we'll be back next month for another Ask Me Anything. But if you're a Serious Sellers Club member or Helium 10 Elite member, we'll see you either next week or the week after, since we do this every single week. Thank you guys very much, and enjoy the rest of your day or weekend. Bye-bye now.